Peter Vasquez, resident.
Peter, what did you say your last name is?
Vasquez.
Thank you.
Well, I come here today before you to kind of feel like I'm at wit's end here, so I wanted to come and address you. But I do appreciate you guys taking the time to hear us today, and I do want to thank my fellow veterans who came out here to support me while I'm doing this. But we're here today to address what we consider is a very important issue. There's been some really inappropriate conduct that's happening from your police officers around town. My wife and I had a very unfortunate, traumatic experience with one of your police officers recently. And so we felt the need to come here and address it, as well as some of our fellow citizens who were concerned as well. We're not here to bash anybody. We're just genuinely concerned about the issues that we have come across. I do not feel that I have the time to get into what happened, but however, if you would like to read about it, I do have a document that I can give to you if you guys would like to read to get more information about it. I would be happy to give that to you. We do respect the proper role of government, but we do not respect the proper role of government when they step out of bounds or overstep and violate people's constitutional rights. And based upon what has happened to us, since I only have 5 minutes today, I will read you from a veteran's perspective about how we feel when our rights are violated by our own government. I believe that we should never forget that our government is our most immediate threat to our liberties. Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Nazi Germany, Russia, China, everybody else was not around when our Constitution was created. Our own government was. And we should never forget that. And I hope Americans don't forget that. I was sent off to war to defend this country and the freedoms we have, and our freedoms are routinely trampled on by our government. And it's time that we as Americans stand up and protect our liberties. But coming from a veteran's perspective, I would say this. It's very painful. It's hurtful. It's traumatizing. It's exhausting. It's the most disgraceful, distasteful, callous, arrogant, disrespectful act of betrayal when government officials violate the constitutions and the protections it affords us, especially after everything that we have gone through in service to our country. Not to mention putting our lives on the line, going to unknown lands, getting death briefings, jeopardizing our youth, damaging our bodies, spending years away from our families, being away from home, even when we're home, seeing your friends killed, seeing your friends maimed, seeing children and others killed, being on funeral details, seeing wives crying with their babies in their hands while you're at chapel at Fort Riley, seeing soldiers, entire towns arrive by charter buses for your fallen soldiers, seeing moms and dads cry, living in horrendous conditions, being around people constantly trying to kill you, having to look at your friend's head wrapped in gauze, dying shortly before they pull the life support system from him. Being shown the last place your body will be before you depart Iraq if you're killed here. Living in deserts, getting injured as I am, it's always going in your head. Looking at your roommate as he dies. I'm the last person surviving in my barracks. Having conversations about God with soldiers who in not short time go meet their maker. Great smiles and laughs taken from this world too soon. Making chump change across seas in a land you have know nothing about to serve your country. 10-hour guard duties in 120-degree-plus weather with 40 and 50-pound gear on. When your M16 is too hot to even touch and it burns your hands, and you have to wear gloves when it's 120 degrees outside. When you walk on the ground and your boots melt because it's hot. Seeing fallen soldiers' gear rummaged through after they've been killed. Sleeping in 115-degree heat. Using curbs for pillows. For you that have never done that, you have no idea. And I don't want special treatment. I didn't go off to war. I appreciate that we get free parking spots and license plates and the things that City of New Braunfels does. But I didn't go to war. I didn't sign up to the Army to get a free parking spot. I went off to war so we could have liberty and our freedoms. You can take all that from me, but give me our freedoms. Tell your police officers to respect them. I look around here, we do a Pledge of Allegiance, and I was like, there's not one single reference to the Constitution. There's not one Constitution hanging in here. Yet that's what I'm supposed to die for when I sign up for the Army. And when this happened to my wife, and there are other events that have happened here, I go on and I find what they did to me. It wasn't just one police officer. 10 police officers show up for my wife, and I do nothing but sitting in a parking lot drinking a Slurpee. Why? Because the cop didn't have anything to do. And they should have known better, because the Fifth Circuit, in the case of United States versus Rice, as recently as 2023, which the New Braunfels Police Department should know if they are educated and stay up on judicial precedent, specifically said that when a police officer pulls up behind somebody and they're parked and they have done nothing wrong, they have no right to detain them, and they violated that precedent, and they violated our protections under the Constitution, and they violated
Mr.
liberties.
Vasquez, I'm so sorry, your time is up.
Well, I think you get my point. So I appreciate your time. Thank you.